Romans chapter 1, verse 16. The Apostle Paul said, I'm not ashamed of the gospel, for it's the power of God unto salvation to everyone who believes, to the Jew first, and then to the Greek. And so we've said the key word there is gospel, and the gospel equals Jesus, and that Jesus can meet every basic need of our lives. So what we're looking at today is that Jesus can meet our need for change. In John chapter 5, we read the following. Sometime later, Jesus came to one of the Jewish feast days and went up to Jerusalem. There is in Jerusalem, near the sheep pens, a pool surrounded by 5 arches, which has a Hebrew name of Bethesda. Under these arches, a great many sick people were in the habit of lying. Some of them were blind, some lame, some had withered limbs. They used to wait there for the moving of the water, for at certain times, at least their tradition was, an angel used to come down into the pool, disturb the water, and then the first person who stepped into the water after the disturbance would be healed of whatever he was suffering from. One particular man had been there and been ill for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there on his back, knowing that he had been like that for a long time, he said to him, do you want to get well? Do you want to get well? The man had been crippled for 38 years. Jesus asked, do you want to get well? Now, there's a lot we're going to discuss here over the next few weeks, but let's kind of talk about this for a second. I think people would do pretty much anything other than change. Most of us don't want to change. We don't want to change the routes we drive to work or the restaurants we go to. We go to the same old places most all the time. On and on it goes. We don't want to change. But change is really inevitable, and we need to understand that. Let me give you a thought here. Someone said perhaps the most relentless enemy of achievement, personal growth, and success is inflexibility. Some people seem to be so in love with the past, they can't deal with the present. Now, that's true, isn't it? I picked up this little note that talked about the top 10 strategies for dealing with a dead horse. Pretty good. Number 1, buy a stronger whip. Number 2, change riders. 3, appoint a committee to study the horse. 4, appoint a team to revive the horse. 5, send out a memo declaring the horse isn't really dead. 6, hire an expensive consultant to find the real problem. 7, harness several dead horses together for increased speed and efficiency. Number 8, rewrite the standard definition of live horse. Number 9, declare the horse to be better, faster, and cheaper when dead. Number 10, promote the dead horse to a supervisory position. Listen, when your horse is dead, for goodness sake, someone said, dismount. So when we come to thinking about change, one of the things we need to understand is there's a lot of value that comes with changing. We don't have to love change, but we've got to be willing to accept change. Think about what comes from change, good change. It gets you out of a rut. It gives you a fresh start. It gives you the opportunity to reevaluate your life. It gives you the opportunity to redirect your life. And so the man in John 5 had been crippled for 38 years. There are a lot of ways we can be crippled. Let me give you a few of those. We can be crippled because our relationship with God is not right. We can be crippled in our marriage, in relationships in general. We can be crippled in our emotions. We can be crippled by a habit, by prejudice, by bitterness, by an addiction. We can be crippled over anger or our lust. We can have an inordinate desire for money or things or just stuff. We can have a low self-esteem. So the question today, as we close, is where in your life are you crippled? Someone said this: people change when they hurt enough that they have to, learn enough that they want to, and receive enough that they're able to. So where in your life do you need to change? You think about that.